Yeah, very good morning, guys. All of you. Yeah, for your information, actually, the 19th of November, you have a screening text for all the people who are completed. Yeah, you are eligible, and whoever got selected will be just sent for multiple interviews, where you can just get placed. Attend the test, all of you. Yeah, very good morning, guys. Hello. Online students, am I audible? Okay. Fine. Yeah, very good morning. So last day, what we have just been done, hosting a website. Yeah, we hosted a website. I dropped it. What is it? Portal.azure.com. I deleted the site actually. So basically, I removed the resource group. When you go and see the resource group, there are no resource groups here. When a resource group is dropped, automatically everything is dropped. Okay, fine. So nothing more to talk about this. So last but not the least topic what we have is Web API core. We learned Web API, advanced version is Web API core. Nothing new to tell anything about this because the complete introduction I have given you all the things for you in the Web API, and now it is Web API core. So just like Web API, now we have Web API core here. Yeah. All what we discussed in the previous class. Entity framework core DB first we completed. Web API core. I'm not giving any introduction for Web API core because you already know that. So it's just let's create a project of Web API core, Web API. So how do you create a Web API? When you're creating a project, all of you, when you're just going to create a project here, create a new project, give some name for it. And when you're choosing the template, I've shown you choosing empty templates. Yes or not? I have shown you choosing MVC templates. Same way we have Web API code template. A Web API template also. We have Web API template also available. See, if you go to Web here, so 4 options I said you if you remember. Web apps. Second one, Web API. Third one, empty. Fourth one, MVC. So we have just seen creating empty also. We have just seen creating MVC also. Now we are trying Web API. We're trying Web API. Again, same thing. A project template for creating an ASP.NET Core application with an example controller for a RESTful HTTP survey. The template can also be used for ASP.NET Core MVC views and controllers. That also you can just do. So select it, click on the next button, give a name for it. Just go for using configure for HTTPS. Leave all the appropriate things here. Leave all the things what we have, whatever checkboxes are there, just leave all the things. Okay. Do not use top level statements. Don't forget it. Do not use top level statements, all these things. All right, whatever is available, just leave it, guys, by default. Okay. And click on the create button. Just I need to uncheck one thing, guys. Okay. Say configure for HTTPS, use controllers, enable OpenAPI support, do not use top level statements. I given all the checkboxes what to be selected. Okay. Select all those particular things. And you know this, top level statements, what will happen? It is just going to create you with a program class. A class gets generated for you in this process. Okay, you know that. I don't record it, tell you again. Okay. So guys, if you observe here, see the services here, add controllers. But in MVC, add controller with views. In web app, I said you add Razer pages. 3 different services I showed you, whatever it is. This is add controllers because here we have only controllers. I'm going to add an XML file in the project. Add a new item. So an XML file, or the name I used, customer.xml. Customer.xml. Place some data into it. I'm directly creating an API with database. You know how to create an API. I don't require to start again from the interaction part for you. Directly, I'm just dealing with the data. Okay. So without using database, I used XML. Right, the same thing I explained you already in your MVCDH project also. First I used XML. Afterwards I translated, change it to database. And there we learned about dependency injection, how to do that and all. Now also I'm doing the same thing only. So I just taken an XML as a data source. Okay. Now what you'll do is go to the models folder. We don't have models folder here. Notice that we don't have models folder. Mainly what we have is a controllers folder. So what you do have is add the models folder. Add the models folder. Okay. What about views folder? Basically, if it is a pure web API, views are not required. A pure web API doesn't require views. Okay. Actually it needs only controllers, but models are also there for me. So let us add a folder and call it as models. So add a folder, name it as models, and now define the model class. What is the model class? Customer. Add a class. Customer is your class. With all the required properties. How many attributes are there? 5 attributes, and I'm defining all the 5. Customer ID, name, balance, city, status, all the 5. Okay. Yeah. What next? The next thing is, see, I'm just going to write this code. Putting in the mind, I wanted to use dependency injection. So right now we are trying with XML. Future, I want to go with SQL Server. What is the process? If at all I want to do that, what is the first thing I require to do? If I want to use dependency injection in my code, what is the first thing I require to do? Adding services and all is secondary. But when you're writing the code, what is the primary thing you're required to do? Interface. The first step is to define a interface. The interface should contain all the classes. One with XML DAL, SQL DAL. We saw that. So first thing is to go for an interface. Go to the models folder, add a new item. What item? Interface item. And the name is going to be iCustomerDAL. Yes, iCustomerDAL. Same thing what I explained you there. I'm just showing you again. One more time I'm showing you. Now I'm showing you with Webelia, that's all. And all the methods. What methods? Get method. One method to get the data. One method insert, update, delete. All the things. So now also I'm going to write all the appropriate methods. Have a look. Okay, now the first one is select all. Second one, single. Third one, insert, update, delete. We're just going to write the insert, update, and the delete statements and everything. Okay. Second, class. You record to write the implementation class. And now we are going to write the implementation class targeting XML. So let us call it as customer XML DAL. So what is the class name? Customer XML DAL is the class name what I'm giving. DAL, data access line. And this code I already explained for you there, na same code only. Here the difference will come only in the controller part. The database part is same. What I explained you there, now also it is the same thing only. They should inherit or implement iCustomerDAL, and all the 5 methods should be given the implementation. And you guys notice it. If at all you just look at the implementation part of all the things, I have given you a clear explanation about all these methods for you in the MVC project already to you. You can just observe. I have a data set declared on the top. Next, constructor. In the constructor, what we do? Create a data set and read the XML file. Afterwards, adding a primary key, because XML doesn't have a primary key. We are adding a primary key on the first column. Next, implementation for select. Implementation for single record select. Insert, update, delete. I did not write even a single line of new code, guys. This is exactly the same thing what I already explained for you in your database programming in the previous project, MVCDS project. Same one only. Now I'm just going to do it. Okay, this is also ready. So all this code, this middleware code is all same there and here. What the difference is? Now comes the difference when you're writing the controller. When you're writing the controller. Okay, we'll do it. But meanwhile, before that, where you will upload XML? XML is already added now. Where to upload? I did not get your question. XML is already there. Where are you going to upload? Okay. The next thing, you're required to register the service. In the program.cs, you're required to register the service. Add scope, add transient. 3 options I already explained you. Add singleton. So what is the best option here we discussed? Singleton or transient or scoped? Scoped. We just required to go for using the scoped service here. Come on. Go to program class and just go for adding the service. What service? Add scope. Your interface name. Your class name. Your interface name and the class name are what you can just give it here. Okay, done. What next? The next step is to define the controller, API controller. And in the API controller, this iCustomerDAL should come in the form of a dependency object there. That is the client. Hey, that is the client. This is the injector. And the interface is the service. 3 parts. Service, injector, client. Who is the who is service? Interface. Who is the injector? Program. Who is the client? Controller. Controller is the client here. Is everyone facing this problem? Narasimha is facing a voice breaking problem. Is everyone facing this problem? Narasimha, no one is facing. That is your internet issue then. It is your internet issue. Now come here. Go to the controllers. Let's add a controller. Add a controller. What controller? API controller. Remember? You're required to go for a API here and select API controller and click on the add button and just give a name for it. I am giving the name as customer controller. Observe this, all of you. This is inheriting from a class called as controller base. Okay, controller base. If at all you just watch it. Yeah, that is inheriting from a class called as controller base, actually. Controller base. And my voice is very speedy. Yeah, we're just going to inherit from the controller base here. Okay, fine. And now start writing all the methods. What method? Get method, post method, put method, delete method. Get, post, put and delete. Are you clear? If it is a normal MVC, what we say? Get customers, get a customer, add a customer, insert customer, edit customer, update customer, delete customer. But here what we write, guys? Get, put, post, delete. That's it. Nah. That's what we are going to write now. Now write up all the methods what you require in this case. Okay, but before that, just observe it. To tell this is an API controller, we have decorated with an attribute called as API controller. Notice data. Second, we are giving a route. What is the route? Slash control. Means, in APIs already I said, we require a prefix API slash controller name. Normal controllers can be directly called, but API controllers, what we require to call? API slash. See, the route is defined here for you all. API. And you remember this is a placeholder. Controller name should come there. What is the controller name? Customer. That is a placeholder part. So a customer will be coming for you over there. API slash controller. And to tell it is an API controller, we are decorating it with an attribute called as API controller. Are you clear? That all I am telling you is to tell this is an API controller, we are decorating this with an attribute called as API controller. Okay, because here we don't have any parent called API controller. In MVC5, remember, the parent class is API controller. But here the parent is control base, that's it. So that's it. To tell this is an API controller, this should be decorated with a API controller attribute, and this is to define the route. We are defining the route pattern for this. The first thing what you require to do is you need to inject what? The service in the form of a dependency injection. Service means what we use? Class interface. In our controllers, what we use? Class interface. Interface. If you use class again, that is a tightly coupled. We use interface, that is loosely coupled. Okay, so we just require to go for using the interface now. And all of you can have a look. I customer dal, this dot dal is equals to dal. So ready? Now start writing up all the methods that you need. Why you're talking about route pattern based on the program.cs? There is no route in the program.cs, watch. There is no route at all, see. We have directly map controller, that's all. Route is not defined here. That's the reason for giving the route on the top of it. Where did I use read-only interface? I did not understand. Santosh. Where did I use read-only interface? Variable, yeah, that's a variable. You're declaring a field there. The field is read-only, that's all. You cannot assign a value to that. You can only get the value. You cannot set the value. That is a variable. That is not an interface. You declared a variable of type read only. That's all. All of you, watch up the methods. The first method, get customers. To tell this a get, we use HTTP get on the top. I already said you either you write the method name as a get or decorate with a get. Okay, na? Return customer select. Next, get customers. Remember, this require a route parameter. Remember, I explained about route parameters. HTTP get requires a parameter. What type? Customer ID. So what parameter? Customer ID. We can define it. What parameter is required for this? How do you pass it here? In the URL, controller / parameter value. Correct? Huh? We don't call methods here. What we say is controller, get request, post request, controller / parameter value will give you the things to you. Are you clear? Next, post. For post, what are you passing? Customer C. Sir, for this you did not define it. No, because I'm going to send it through the body. This comes through body. But this doesn't come through body. This comes through. In the URL, we get it a query string. We pass this in the form of a route. More clearly telling route. How do you write it? HTTP localhost. Here your port will come. / and these are APIs. So we need to have an API. Afterwards, our controller name. What is our controller name? Customers. If I call like this, where the request to us? Get request for all the day. /102 is a route. And the route, what is the route? It's a customer ID. And that's what we specified here. But when you come to here, this customer object, are you going to pass it in route? We're going to pass it through the body. So what you're passing to body not required. If you want to be clear from body, you can write it. That also is shown you there. From, you can write like this. If you want it. Default is from body. Even if I don't write also, that takes to you. If you want to go and check your MVC5 API, I clearly explained and shown you also that. From body option I shown you there. Okay. And this is calling the insert method. And once the insert is successful, what am I returning? Response message. What is that? Created. Create, insert. Created. Next method. Put method. See. First, you're calling select. Now you're checking. Not equal to null. Means existing or not existing? Existing. If not existing, what are you showing? Not found. If existing, what are you calling? Update. And what is the message you're giving? Okay. Okay indicates, yeah, update is success. Same way you're calling delete. Same process. But only thing is there you called update method and here you called a delete method. Other than that, there is nothing here new here. You can define that in the route. I explained about that, all these things in the routing classes to you. Go and check it out. I shown you also now in the route you can pass multiple values. ID / product name / price. I shown you. You need to define that in the route. How? / How many parameters are required? 2 parameters. What are the 2 parameters? One is ID and the second one is name. Go and check it out. I already explained about these things to you in your MVC5 routing classes to you. Even not only MVC5, in MVC core also, when I explained to you about attribute routing, one day in attribute routing, the last example is given with the 2 parameters. The last example I given you is with 2 parameters. Go and check. Fine. So this is all how you are going to write up your code. Simple. All the methods. I want to test this. Get method can be tested, but post, put and delete cannot be tested directly now. Yes or not? So we used Postman. We used Postman to test it. Or otherwise, I just also said you there is another tool. The license got expired to purchase. What is the tool? Fiddler. Fiddler. That is also one tool available. Fiddler, Postman, anything can be used. Apart from that, to test all these particular things, Microsoft has given a much more simple and easy tool for us called as Swagger. Microsoft has given one more web debugging tool for us called as Swagger. It's already built in into your Visual Studio, which you can directly use it. Okay, I'll show you. First, run the code first. When you run, get will be called now. Get call works. Where the problem comes, put post and delete only. But get call works to us. Okay, first let us learn, run it. Directly see, Swagger got open. This is Swagger. How to launch it, say? The Swagger. Okay. Without using Swagger, can I only perform a get operation here? Means just to say, if you simply say /API/customers. A regular calling. This is your regular calling. But without that, simply if I just, without using API there, if I simply type Swagger, the Swagger UI launches automatically. The Swagger UI launches automatically. See, it has given option to test all the things to you. See, for testing all, everything is available for you. You can see, I want to test the get operation. Actually, two are there, customer weather forecast. What is weather forecast? That is an existing sample controller, which is available already. I not show you that, but that is already a sample controller, which is available. You can observe. Go to the Solution Explorer. One sample controller is already available. Open it. In this, all the functionalities are not there. What we have is only, you can see there's only get only, guys. There's no get here. Post and all are not there. Some code they have written here for implementation. And this is basically Swagger. So this is basically a sample controller what is available. And that is that is what which is coming over there. Okay. So two will be shown for you in the Swagger browser here. So now you can go for a get call. Click on the get. All the records has to come. When you click on the get, it opens it like this. Now click on try it out. Then you'll have execute button. Click on the execute button. Should show you all the results. 4 records are there, guys. All the 4 records are coming. If you want to download also, there's a download option to download. Am I clear? Okay. So this is how you get the multiple records. Get request. And in the bottom, it will show you the content type is application JSON. When the result and the server what is used is Kestrel. Am I clearer or not? And you can see the success message. And the format is going to be like this. And why it shows you this format here is tomorrow if at all you want to perform a put or a post operation, follow this format to tell that it will show you the information here. Is that clear? Again, click cancel. Yeah, minimized. Now again, get. See, it is given a text box to enter the customer ID now. Okay, try it out. Now this will be enabled 102. Click on execute. You'll see the response body. Much easier than Postman here. Much simple and easier than the Postman. No need to go there, select, get there, post there. We forget all these things. In a simple way, they just designed the Swagger to you to test your APIs. Okay, next. Let's test post. When you click on the post, it will open you and you'll see, try it out. And guys, watch it. The request body should be like this. Go and enter the values in that. That is also, it is giving a format there. There we manually typed it, but here it is telling you, enter the format, telling you, enter the value directly. So I'm going to enter as 105. And here, name should come as a string. I'm giving the name as Miller. The balance is going to be 60,000. City is Mumbai. Status is true. Click on execute. Response body and showing you the options to you. See there. Success. The description is a success description. We just got a success description here. What style? How to apply style for what? Are you designing UI? Then for style for what? Check yourself. You have up your values in this case. Okay, now I wanted to edit. I wanted to perform a edit operation. Then it is going to be a post. In your post, guys, what do? You will be entering up the new values here. The same thing I want to edit here. Customer ID 105. Sorry. Try it out. Until you click on try it out, it will be in the read only mode. 105. The name is Miller. Balance, I want to make 60,000 is there. I want to make it a 65,000. And coming to the city is Mumbai. I want to change it as Chennai. Enter. See your old values, guys. These are the old values. Okay, now? Now come here. Click on execute button. The response code is 200. Check. Update it. Okay. I want to delete a record. Okay, let's try a delete. Go for a delete. For a delete, you require to pass the customer ID, right? I'm passing 105 as the customer ID. Execute. Success. The response is going to be success. You can see status code 200, response flow is okay. Come here, the record is deleted. Is that clear? Where you want to apply the CSS style? Tell that. I'm asking you the same question. Where you want to apply the style? When you did not design UI, why are you asking about applying CSS style in UI? Did you design the UI? What are you writing? API. When you're writing API, then why are you asking about UI styling here? Be clear in your question. You have something in your mind and ask me, how can I understand? What is your interpretation? Type it in a single message. What your intention? What you want to ask? In MVC5, Swagger can be used, but you require to separate install, I think, guys. Sheikh Elias, I'm not sure. I'm not sure in MVC5 we can use, but we require to separately install it and use it. Yeah, in MVC5 also it is possible, but we require to separately install Swagger by using what is that? NuGet and consume it. We require to install Swagger using NuGet and consume it, but available there also. I not get a response, Kumar. Okay. Yeah. This is the Swagger page that is already designed and given to us. Already they have designed and given to us, and directly we are consuming it. We don't have an option to edit those. We don't have the option to edit those things. And to consume the Swagger service, go and see in the program. And Swagger UI is there. Both these two are already enabled here. Here, see. The Swagger service is added there. I'm consuming the Swagger service here. Builder.services.add SwaggerGen. And in the development, you can just use. In the production, we go to, you cannot use Swagger. Eh? Production environment, we cannot use Swagger. Swagger can be used only in the development environment. When you are in the development environment, then you can go for using the Swagger UI. See, actually, the point I'm trying to tell is that is predefined, built in. I cannot modify the code. I cannot modify that particular code. If you're Kumar, if you're asking about the Swagger, that's my answer. That's not in my control. I cannot. That is predefined. You need to use it like that only. But if you're asking about something else, let me know what is your doubt. Because I still did not design any UIs here. I only use the Swagger UI. That's it. Fine. So our API is ready. We also tested. See, now it became very easy to test with Swagger compared with your Postman. Postman, we required to change some attribute value, select the get, post to all these things. But every beautiful UI has been designed and given, and you can just use the Swagger UI. So that is the beauty of it. Fine, my API is ready, guys. I want to test it. I want to consume all these things. From where? We never run. We are in prod. We don't need services add. Yes, we don't require. We don't require in production. We don't require add SwaggerGen, and we don't. This will not work anyhow. Okay, and we don't require this. In the production environment, is not required. Yeah, you want to consume the API. From where you consume an API? I can consume an API from MVC applications, or I can consume an API from web forms applications, or a Windows application, or a console application. From anywhere I can consume. And I've shown you two different options to consume already. One, consuming by using jQuery, consuming by writing C# code. Two things I've shown you already. One is consuming from C# application only. Consuming from jQuery. Consuming using jQuery. I'll show you both the two things now also. Same project, different project. If you go to different project, you should enable CORS. Whatever I taught you, all the things are same. Only thing is you are using core. That's all. Dependency injections and all. Other than that, there is nothing difference. So I need a MVC controller now. To test it, I need a MVC controller. You directly want to test from another project? Go. No, I want to test from the same project? Add an MVC controller. Add a MVC controller in the project. Okay, first let us see calling from same project. See, consuming our API service in an MVC controller using jQuery Ajax within the same project. Are you clearer or not? Okay, so that is what exactly I just wanted to do now. Now I wanted to add a MVC controller in the project. Right click on the controllers, add controller. What controller? MVC controller is what I'm going to use. Add method, add button. The name is home controller, guys. Leave it. Click on the add. Index action. Everything is ready. If I am using jQuery Ajax, that index is enough because we do all the things on the UI. There will not be any postbacks. Direct API calls can be done. Yes or not? We do just one interface, one UI is required. Remaining all API calls will be taking place. So this is enough. Nothing more we require here. Directly right click on this, add a view. Raster view empty. Okay, now we just wanted to call this. Now we just wanted to call these things here. Am I clear? Okay. Now the first thing is I wanted to use jQuery in my code. Just a minute. Just a minute. By head, body, by HTML. I want to use jQuery in my code. Okay, calling, what are you doing? Calling web API core. Calling a web API core service. I want to use jQuery. You know that you need jQuery. What did I say, guys? If at all you want to use jQuery, download and install jQuery on your projects. You already know how to do that. I showed. Second simplest option I shown you is go for CDN. Remember that, go for CDN. Without downloading on your projects, you can give a CDN link. So directly it will come from the CDN part. Okay. So where do I get the CDN, sir? Simply go in Google here. jQuery CDN. jQuery CDN. Yeah, here you have the minified version of the jQuery CDN links here. You can just use from here. When you click, it will show you the CDN. You can copy and use it. I already given that in the notes here. I already given that in the notes to you. Okay. Nothing here. I have 3.6.0 in the notes and the latest is 3.6.1.0. I'll replace in the notes also if you want. Okay, 3.6.1.1 is the latest one. I replaced. Anyhow, the last I will update you the notes in the Google Classroom. You can download it. Okay, now what next? You're required to write all the jQuery functions now to call the methods. Yes or not? What are you required to do? You're required to write all the jQuery functions to call the methods. To call your methods, you're required to write up your jQuery coding now. Okay, I'll write the jQuery functions. Meanwhile, let me first design the UI part, with the form body. What do you want? You remember in the left hand side, I want my table showing up all the things. Am I clear? Okay, in the left hand side, I just want to get the table to show all the records, all the customers' information. So within the body, I'm writing this. Watch. Look, guys. Body. I'm giving a style background color confluent blue. Form tag, table, align center. What is the name? TBL customers, border 1. T head. You know all these things. And here we have actions. This actions is to tell what actions you want. Yeah, I want to tell one thing. Actually, I'm just trying to design in a different way. What is it? In MVC 5, guys, I shown you table. And now on the right side, I shown you text boxes to do all the actions. Correct? But here I'm going to show you in a different way. What I'm good for every record, you'll have a delete button beside it. sorry, for every record, you'll have a edit and a delete button beside. You click on edit and edit. You can click on delete and delete. Clearer? If 10 records are there, all the 10 will have edit and delete. That's the fifth column. The sixth column is actions column. In actions column, what will come, Edit, delete options will come. You can click on edit and edit. You can click on delete and delete. Okay, now. So watch it carefully. 6 columns, address are there. T-body, no body. Body is dynamically built. We are going to build the T-body dynamically. And at the point I put in div tag there. What is that? The div tag has been put here to go for displaying any errors. If any errors are there, the div tag has to show the errors. Is it clear? Now, this is the body. And now come to the head part. And now in the head part, I want to write my script. All the functions I need to define. All the functions I just recorded. The first function is to call the get. The first function is to call the get. Get without any parameters means load all the records. Am I correct? So that is the first part. Ray, shown you already how to call it. Okay, but some new things I'll show you. But still, I show you how to call the appropriate things. I'm writing a function here. What is the function name? Look, all of you. Get customers. Remember this one? $.ajax URL HTTP localhost core web API service API customer. Actually, I did not do that. Basically, I'm giving a IIS URL. I did not host it on IIS. I already explained you the process of hosting on the IIS. I will do it now. Okay, just a minute, I'll do it. But here you see, I'm just giving the IIS URL. Okay. Next type is get. Data type success. Success means data loaded. If data loaded, you are calling a function and passing all the customers to it. Are you clear? And inside of it, what are you doing in the first line? Open the mouth here. You put your face like that. Open the mouth. You're emptying the body. The tbody.empty. The tbody.empty will clear the body part. Then what you're doing? You're calling tbl customer.append. Append what? tr. Just watch it. tr, td. Input ID is equals to customer ID. Text is equals to text. Style is equals to 50 pixel. What is this, sir? In the first row, I want to create a blank row with the text boxes for insert. If the record is there, beside that we'll get edit and delete button. But what about insert? Did you catch my point or not? In the first row, what I want? An empty record with the text boxes. With all the text boxes. And in the last one, what I want is a insert button. That is to insert. See, this is the first one I'm adding in the first row. TD. Text box. Again, name text box. Balance text box. City text box. Checkbox. And in the last, say, button. Are you clearer or not? On click, add customer. So this is going to come in the first row. Now I'm writing a for each loop. I'm writing a for each loop. For the for each loop, I'm passing one by one customer. See, these are all customers. From that, I'm passing one by one customer. And I'm calling DPL customers.append. Appending these rows now. What should I write to append? Again, I should write TR and all. Without writing all the things, I called another function here. What is the function name? Build customer row, and I'm passing the customer object. So actual code will be present here. Without writing that lengthy code here, I pushed it there. That's all. I'll show that code. If any error, you're calling a function, passing the request object, and handle exception request. Handle exception is a method. We are going to write it here. And for that, we are passing the request object. That request object will show you the error message in the div tag and the bottom. So two more functions we need to write here. What are the two more functions? Build customer row. The build customer row will contain the code for creating the TRs. Creating the TRs. And do you remember every row should contain an edit and an update delete button? Yes or not? Okay, just watch. function, build customer. What are you passing? See, new row is equals to, see there, tr, td, align is equals to center, customer dot, customer ID. Next, text box, customer name, balance, city. And see, if customer dot status is equals to true, we are getting a checkbox with a value checked. If it is false, we are getting a checkbox without a checked value. If else condition, that's all. Then we have two buttons. First button, update button. Second button, delete button. First button is update button. Second button is a delete button. So this is what you're going to add it. It returns a row and that row is appended here. See, the method's return type is a row and that row append row. So when the loop runs now, one by one row will be added for you here. When the loop runs, one by one row will be added here. Okay, this is a build customer row. One more method here. Handle exception. Handle exception is a simple code here. There I just wanted to display the message, that's all. Yeah, guys, have it where message is equals code, request dot status code will come, text, status text will come. If request dot response JSON not equal to null, okay, what I'm doing? Message, and the message I'm going to show you, and all this code I'm going to show you in the form of a alert. I'm going to show this all in the form of a alert. Okay, div is placed here. Div also used, but different ways of showing the messages. Alert I used. Tell why I did not use the div in this scenario is when I use div, the error message will come there, the message will stay there like that. But alert means once you see the output and click on OK, the message will be vanished. Okay, so this is the function. So now tell me, when I run this, by default, all the records should be loaded or not? Come on. When I run this, by default, all the records should be loaded or not? Loaded. But to load, where did you call get customers? You did not call it anywhere. You defined your jQuery functions, but you did not call them anywhere. Remember that? Yes or not? Okay. So all of you watch this. You can call in the body onload is equals to, that is one style. I already showed that in MVC5. Go and check it out. I called body onload is equals to get customers. Another style, without again calling body onload, using jQuery only we can do like this. Are you clear? Document.ready. When you're ready, call the function. Which one? Get customers. This will do the job for you. Watch it. Let me run. Will this run? Come on. Yes. Will this run? Two things we have still pending over there to make it run. What are the two things, sir? One is ours is the API controller, so MVC controller will not run. Oh, if you want to run the MVC controller, change the service. What is it? Earlier it is add controllers and you're required to make it as add controller with views. Is that clear? What do you have? Add controller. Now you're required to make add controller with views. That's the first thing. Second thing is you did not host it on IIS, but your URL is targeting IIS, not IIS Express or Kestrel. Your URL is targeting IIS. Sir, why IIS can't test in IIS Express and Kestrel? You can test it here. But tomorrow, you want to call from another project. You want to call from another project. When you want to call from another project, will you keep the first project run in run mode? Do you understand my question? If you want to test in Swagger or IIS Express, if the first project is running, only server will be running in the background. Then only another project can send a request. But if you host on IIS, IIS will be running in the background 24/7. I don't require to specially start IIS now. IIS is already running. Did you understand my point or not? So tomorrow when you go to live, you cannot use IIS Express and Kestrel web servers. What do you require to use? IIS. What you require to go for using is IIS there. Okay. So we just require to make that particular change, guys. Yeah, when I run this, I won't get any error. Swagger will run. Swagger runs, but I want to call my home controller home. Doesn't open. Why? Yours is not a MVC project. Yours is a API project. So let us make all the necessary changes to this now. What changes? First, go to program class. Watch it, all of you. Here you have add controller, right? Add controller with views. When I say add controller with views now, watch it once. API also should run now. API also should run. Swagger is running, see? Get, try it out, execute. Swagger is getting the data. Without Swagger, I'm writing API / customers. Is not coming. Why it is not coming? Because you made it as MVC controller. Now it is not a API controller. Now it is an MVC controller. So I want both to work. Write both. What both? Add controllers. Add controller with views also. Add controllers and add controller with views also. Okay, add that particular thing. So no problem. And now, will my MVC controller run, sir? Now the next question is, sir, will my MVC controller run? Let us try. How to run MVC controller? /home should run the MVC controller. /home. Not running. Why? There is no routing defined. It's an API. Routing is not defined for that. You're required to add the routing also. You're required to add the routing also. You just required to add the routing also in this case. If you go and see, you'll be finding up map controllers method. What do you find? Map controllers. Just you're required to add this thing to there. What is that? Map controller route. Remember that? Map controller routes. Name, default, pattern, controller is home, action is index. So with this action, with this all actions, what I done, it should run my MVC controller now. Default Swagger is running off. /home. Yeah. Data not loaded. Data not loaded. Error code came. Why? Because in the code we are targeting IS. Array, we are calling the IS. Not here. You are calling this one. But this is internally calling the API now. API is targeting ISC. Port number not there. Port number not there means that is IS. How to host your application on IS? Do you remember? How to do that? Go to properties. Debug. Debug. Open debug launch profiles UI. And here I said you click on create a new profile. What profile? IS profile. Give a name for it. IS. Okay. And now you just require to set the environment variable. What? Development. Come here, come here. I want to launch browser. Just giving a launch browser option. And here you can give your URL. What is the URL you just want? You can just give the URL. HTTP. HTTPS. Localhost. What is the project name? Core Web API Service. Core Web API Service. Okay, Core API Service. And once you do all these things, If you go to your launch settings.json, that should have add this already. Yeah, IS is added. Are you clear? When you run IS Express, do you see the launch URL? That's his Agri is coming. Understood the point? Okay. But here I just get my launch URL as this one. Web API service. So now here we should choose IIS. It won't. Did not open in admin mode. Did not open in admin mode. Just a second. Oh shit. Right click. Run as administrator. IS settings are. The IS settings are missing. The app URL. Oh, app URL should be present. Okay. Launch URL. App URL also it is asking. Where is it? Debug. Open. Yes. Yeah, it is asking for app URL. Same URL only. Okay. Otherwise, ignore this launch URL. Just a second. Let me delete this profile. Delete. The simplest way to create is there is a duplicate selected profile option. Click on that here. Automatically all the settings will be copied up there. Did you understand? All the settings will be copied up there. Like that also we can just create. No. Okay. I need this. Just a second. Let me do it. Create a new profile. IS profile. What do you want? You want the environment variable. Leave it. Next. Launch browser. App URL. You require the app URL. Go for launch browser. And here app URL. You have the app URL. What is the app URL? Localhost core web API service. Application app URL. Choose. Not saved. I not give a name. Shit. You did not give a name. IS. this URL also change it. Both URL and app URL. If you don't set the URL, default is coming up as a why is it going to Swagger? Just a second, guys. Launch URL is set. Command name. Why? Okay, let's change. IS Express and IS, they should add to launch now. But it is basically not changing there. Okay. Basically, I changed to production. But production development first I'm targeting IS there now. I should run IS on it. Don't know why is it not launching with IS. Localhost and port 443 is not found. What is the mistake? Just a second. INET MGR. Is it created or not? First, let us see. Core Web API service is not created. Why? 1 minute. I may delete. IS. IS settings. Just a second. Spine. IS. Profile name is IS. Fine. Launch browser. Let me leave it as Swagger. App URL, HTTPS, localhost, core, web API, service. save. IS profile added. All are same. Next, IS app URL added. Select IS. Site should be created automatically. Actually, when you save, it should directly create of an IS. It should create now. You're missing anything? The process is shown you already. Same process, na? It's create an you. Wait, that's all. Nothing more. All are same. Local website with name localhost on port 443 was not found. INET MGR. Core MVC project is what we created earlier. Let us see this tomorrow, yeah. Don't know why is it giving error. Yes. Really? Gone for HTTP, yeah? No, no, HTTPS only. No, I created HTTPS only now. We selected that option. Let us see. Not sure whether if it works. When we're creating the project, we said enable HTTPS now. Yeah. You're right, man. That's only a mistake. I remember I selected HTTPS. Why is it not taken up? That was a mistake. Actually, we selected HTTPS, but still I don't know why is it not taking. Or we forgot. Selected. Don't know why. Okay, you see the first for insert. And here all the data is coming for update and delete. So now we need to write the code for insert, update, delete. These three methods we'll write in the next session. Okay, let's stop here. Yeah, why SSL port is 0? So what I was wondering. Yeah, we have HTTP redirection here. We'll see that in the next session, how to do that. Okay.